Hello, and welcome to my channel, the My Reader Minutes. Tonight we're going to talk about Married to Medicine. I think this is episode 3. Um, I think I expressed in a previous video that I've never watched this uh, series or show until this particular season. And I have to tell you that they are bringing it. I've not felt like this about any other reality show in a long time. And just like my title says, they have found the recipe for messiness. I don't think we've had where there's a wife and an ex-wife on any of the franchises, like the Housewife franchises or reality show period. If it is, I'm not aware of it. But this, because I think Sweet Tea is everybody's storyline, because they're so, enthralled with, the goings on of the wedding planning and so forth. And yeah, this episode did not disappoint. I did take a little bit of notes so to keep me on track. I just, indicated who was in each scene, but not detailed notes. So bear with me. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm asking for a lot of likes because a couple of my videos don't really have a lot of likes. So if you could just like the video or dislike the video, whatever you want to do, just please do something to throw me in the algorithm. I need to be thrust in the algorithm. Thank you very much. Okay, so it starts out, well, with the different snippets of the different ladies and what they usually do, I guess, on their day to day. And it starts out says 4 days earlier. You see that Toya's on the phone with Sweet Tea, and she's letting her know that they're having a pamper party for her. Okay, so then they switch over to Toya. I'm sorry, not Toya. They switch over to Quad, and she's in the kitchen with her good Judy cooking. And that was like for a little split second. And then they switch over to Phaedra. She's evidently at a soccer practice, I think. And she's standing there with other mothers, I assume, and lets them know, wow, they really look good playing themselves. And I guess it was just a practice or whatever. But she was being funny. I don't know how well her son's team is doing, but evidently she was impressed about how they were playing themselves. It was cute. So then they go into the next scene. Dr. Jackie and Simone, they're out having lunch. And, Dr. Jackie's talking about one of her patients and how she has contracted. And I guess it's an STD or something. Her thing is, what, I'm only been with my husband. So her thing was, well, don't go home and beating him up. I don't want to see you like on the news or, go to jail. She says, I don't visit jail. I don't forgot what Dr. Jackie said. She said something about she don't visit prison or something like that. It was a joke though. Not that I think she visits prisons anyway, but anyway, so they're sitting there talking about Sweet Tea and how she acted the night that they all went out. I guess it was for Toya's wine tasting. And Dr. Jackie said, well, she ain't Sweet Tea no more. She more like NutraSweet. Boo, Dr. Jackie. Boo. Well, Simone goes into detail about um how Sweet Tea has confided in her and talking about how she kind of needs an assistant to help her, around the house. Like they could go to the grocery store and all she had to do is come home and cook. And because she's very overwhelmed with this wedding planning. And they compare themselves to Sweet Tea when they were her age, and their thing was, please, I had kids, I had a business, I had da 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 da, and it ain't no time for like need an assistant or just not following through with what you need to do. So they were kind of like throwing a little bit of light shade, but it wasn't. It was probably the truth. So in the next segment, Dr. Heavenly meets up with Sweet Tea, and they're sitting outside I guess it's a balcony or whatever in the restaurant. And as soon as the waitress comes over, Dr. Heavenly's like, "Can you bring us a shot of Patron?" Like she was getting the party started. She knew that if she got her relaxed enough, she would spill her guts. And what did she wind up doing? Exactly. Spilling her guts. So they're sitting there and Sweet Tea goes into confessional and talks about how um she had to change her venue from because originally it was going to be on a rooftop, I guess, of a hotel. But because of the weather, I think they thought or they is supposed to rain on that day, they had to move the venue inside. So she was talking about having to do that. And then she goes on to talk about Dr. G and that he's still not involved. I mean, her thinking in her mind, he would be more involved in the wedding, but he's not. And he wants to be controlling. And she quotes or she references Quad. And she was like, Quad was right about something. What did she say? Quad was right about Dr. G or Greg being controlling. And she was kind of saying the same statements verbatim. And they kept switching back to Quad when she was fussing with Dr. G and then what Sweet Tea was saying to Heavenly. It was almost like a verbatim. Like, I feel like you were a fan of the show, Sweet Tea. You know how things went down with him and Quad. You slipped into his DMs knowing that he was a free man because you know how that went. So I'm not sure I understand why you think that he would be any different for you or to you. What you see normally is what you get, unless they're old, sick, and can't do nothing else, and they need somebody to take care of them. But I feel like most women act like that if they feel like they got the man or they taken him. Not that they had to take anybody away from anybody else, but usually that next girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever, curiosity, they always want to know what the last one looked like, right? And um if they find out what the last one looks like, then why did y'all split up? And um it's not a competition. Some may think it's a competition. I don't feel like it's a competition, especially if you don't know the person and you've moved on and both of you have moved on and you both have found significant others. I'm not checking for you and who you with. You shouldn't be checking for me or who I'm with, right? So yeah, I feel like most women, and I lost my train of thought. Wait a minute. I feel like most women um I don't know. It's always curiosity about the ex-wife or whatever. Anyway, long story short, she quotes Quad, and like I said, they switch back the clips back and forth from now and from back when Quad was fussing with Dr. G. And she basically was saying the same thing that she was sharing with Dr. Heavenly. And Dr. Heavenly was like, "Oh my God, she sounds just like Toya. I mean, not Toya. Why I keep calling that girl Toya? She sounds just like Quad." Excuse me. She sounds just like Quad. Same thing. And her thing, and I don't know if Dr. Heavenly is being all that supportive or just being shady. Because why does she even care? She ain't known that girl that long for her to why does she even care that she'd fall into the same trap as Quad? She knows because at the dinner when they were sitting there talking to each other, Dr. Heavenly asked her, "So once you get married, what you gonna do?" And her response was, "Oh, we'll figure it out. No, baby girl, That's not how that works. What you get is what you get. What you see is what you get. Yeah, she has a lot of youth and you don't know that stuff back then. You know what I mean? You feel your way through it. And a lot of us have felt our way through it. Now, I feel like I could be a counselor. I feel like I could be a counselor and let you know, nope, this is what he's doing. This is the behavior patterns, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So the next scene is Simone and her family, and they're talking to her sons. They met up at a restaurant, and I'm not sure exactly where the sons go to school. I don't know. I think they said where they were going to school. I know the oldest one was going to Howard, and now he's in a some other type of school. He's been in different schools, film school or something. Anyway, he clearly is still trying to find himself. And Simone and her husband are forking the bill. And then I guess they're pretty good students because I guess she made a comment. She was like, okay, well, who's failed a test lately? And her youngest son was like, well, I don't know if he said he failed it, but he said he wasn't aware that there was going to be one. He didn't even know that there was a test. So that leads me to believe even if he did know, if he just didn't know to work, then he got okay, great. But by you telling me that I didn't even know it was a test, I'm automatically assuming that you didn't fail because you weren't prepared. So so they talk about that. She talks about where they're going after they leave college. Are they coming home? And her thing was, why do you want to come home? And so her youngest was like, well, you can get me an apartment. And her thing is, well, why would I get you an apartment and you don't even keep your room clean? Like you could at least come back home and stay for, I think she said 30 days, 60 days or whatever, and keep it clean. If you keep it clean with at the end of that time period, then maybe we'll talk about an apartment. But she basically tells them that you two are just living the life of being so entitled. And Simone, I don't know, Simone's her first name. Um, I don't know her last name, but her husband is not bad looking at all. Simone is not. Her is it Cecil? Simone and Cecil? I don't know what his name is, but he's not bad looking. He's easy on the eyes for real. I would date him. Now, I don't usually like old looking men, but I could deal with him. He's cute. Um, not cute. Puppies are cute. He's handsome. Okay, so Toya, the next segment is Toya's husband. What is his name? Anyway, he takes his boys out, and I think one of them was getting a pair of shoes, or maybe both of them were getting a pair of shoes. I think Toya told them that they needed shoes. So they went out to get shoes, and their father was trying to bond with them and basically saying, if you have any further questions, based on the conversation we had last night, let me know. Whatever question you may have, let me know. So the one little boy said, well, what is a period? And Dr. G in the confessional was tripping. He was like, I could probably explain this better than Toya. But he explains it to him what it is and that, of course, what we use, sanitary napkins or tampons, they suck up the blood. I mean, it was like, really, y'all, do y'all really need to talk about this? Anyway, they were curious about what a period is. I guess they heard it, but for some reason, I feel like they already know. I don't know. They might be sheltered. Who knows? So Simone and her husband in the kitchen. and they start talking about where they're taking Dr. G. And he said, we'll probably do some yoga. And she was like, man, go ahead with that, And he was like, well, we're going to a gentleman's club. And I guess he left it at that because he didn't say nothing about no. Did he tell her about the party bus? Wait a minute, let me see. Did he tell her about the party bus? Oh yeah, he did. He talked to her that they did get Greg a party bus. So next scene, they get to the party bus and they have two dancers, I think. Two or three. I think it might be two. Two dancers on there. And all you see are these and all this back here just shaking, I guess, to the music that was playing on the party bus. And if you those men that went on that party bus, they were in their world. The girls looked nice, they were shaped nice, and they were doing it. Where the point at some point, I think somebody had lifted up their leg or whatever and was shaking, and they had to pixel it out. So her whole bottom part was probably exposed. Anyway, the men obviously enjoyed it. And so during this segment, they kept flipping back and forth. So then they go back to the ladies. This particular time, Toya is setting up for Sweet Tea's party, right? Is that where we are? Hold on. Yes. Toya is setting up for Sweet Tea's party. And she's got the men there and they're dressed in their red shorts and they got hot. Scroll down the bottom and she's going through the men. Her and Phaedra are talking to the men, and she said, "Oh, you look like a little Damon," which was Doctor Heavenly's husband. She said, "You look like a little Damon." So the one guy she said, "You're gonna stand at the door or whatever." So when they go to the door, Dr. Jackie comes in, Dr. Heavenly comes in, and Dr. Jackie kind of looks and just looks down or whatever. She seems like real conservative. She's like the peacemaker. She don't ruffle anybody's feathers, that sort of thing. But Dr. Heavenly comes in and she's got her all of them were dressed in negligees. She's got her negligee robe on and she got look like she got a whip in her hand. And the guy act like he was coming towards her. She was like, "Don't touch me, I'm married." What? Girl. Don't touch me, I'm married. Yet later on, you see in the scene, she's over in the corner and they're massaging her shoulders and they're pouring whipped cream. Or no, I think that was I don't know, one of the ladies was putting whipped cream in the middle of her breast. And she's sitting there like this. I don't know what that was about. But evidently she lightened up and let them touch her because she was getting massages. So so the once the bride comes in, so Sweet Tea comes in and she comes in with her entourage, whoever she has with her. I think her bridesmaid and our maid of honor or whatever are with her. And she comes in and I guess she has a robe on and everything. And the men just go to town. They start massaging her, oiling her down, and giving her a massage. So they pick her up and place her on the sofa. So Simone pipes up and is like, "Is Dr. G going to be able to do that to you when you after your honeymoon? I mean, while during after you get married, is he going to be able to pick you up?" And I don't remember exactly what Sweet Tea said, but she basically said, "I wonder what Dr. G is doing." And they were like, they got dances or whatever. You know what he doing." She was like, "Mm-mm, he's real conservative. He wouldn't do that stuff like that." They switch back to the party bus, and Dr. G is off the chain. He got butt in his face. He got boobs in his face. And they said, "Man, pull your pants down." He said, "If I pull my pants down, I'm not pulling them back up." Boy, what? Say what now? Yes. So they flipped back to the ladies after that, and Sweet Tea has now received a call from her, I guess, her party planner or wedding planner. And by them switching the venue due to whatever rain they were supposed to get, it's going to cost them an extra 13, $14,000. And she kind of like goes a little off a little bit because her thing is, oh my God, I don't know if this like she was concerned whether they had it or whether she was concerned about having to go ask for more money because if he's controlling and has that controlling spirit, he controls the money too. So her thing is, I got to go and talk to him and I got to be worried with him, or she got to screw him, or whatever the case is. She's not a happy camper that she has to fork out this money. And so she gets a little upset, and her sister's there with her, and she's trying. It looked like her sister was trying to console her, but I don't know what she said to flip her off. And she was like, "Get off me! You always messing with me." I don't know what she said. We missed that part. They didn't get the audible. They didn't get that for that. So I don't know. But the ladies, the older seasoned ladies of the show, come together and they have to calm her down. I mean, even to the point where she looked like she was trying to turn around and get back to her sister because her sister must have been saying stuff. They must have cut a lot out because she acted like she wanted to get back and whip her behind, but they didn't. They pushed her into another room and shut the door. And then that's when Toya comes out and says, "Oh, this is an intermission." Just a slight intermission. And so at this time, I want to say Phaedra gets a text message. Let me check my notes. Hold on a second. I think I wrote that down. Yeah. Phaedra gets a text message, and it's from Quad, and she says, "I guess I'm outside or I'm here," or something like that. So Phaedra goes and gets her, and they walk in bad. I'm telling you, them two are the new freaking frack. Well, it used to be her and Portia, but now I think it's her and Quad. Them two are okay. So anyway, Quad comes in right behind Phaedra, and everybody mouth just like, what in the if I were press mode is going on? What in the world is going on? Like, so, and that had to be kind of awkward because then this camera pans on Sweet Tea and her sister, and they're like, why is she here? Toya finally pipes up and says, "Why is she here? Why is she here? Who invited her?" And Sweet Tea, you can see she's saying, "Yeah, who invited you?" And it comes out that Phaedra invited her. So Toya said, "Phaedra, you are a shady bee." That's all she had to say. "You are a shady bee." Now, I know that there's some history there with Quad and Toya. I don't know what it is in depth. I saw some segments that they keep playing in this season about different things that they said about each other, but I'm assuming it goes further back than that, that they really don't gel well together. Anywho, um, Quad comes in and she's bearing gifts. She hands over the bags to Sweet Tea, and she sits down and she lets her know, "I don't have any animosity towards you. I wish you the best, blah, 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 blah." And Sweet Tea was like, "Okay." And she was like, "Sit down by me," or whatever. And Toya's like, "What? No." She was like, "Just a few days ago, you were telling us not to say her name. And now y'all chummy chummy? You got her sitting next to you? No." So Sweet Tea said, "Well, this is my event." She said, "No, it's not your event. It's mine. I threw it for you." I'm like, Toya, Toya, what now? Anywho, I feel like this. It really wasn't it shouldn't be any animosity between the two ladies. They didn't know each other until they just met. She heard about her. She watched her on the show talking about Sweet Tea. But as far as them having any feelings or animosity about the other, it shouldn't be any. Yet I still understand why it could come across as awkward as the ex-wife is at the new wife's bridal shower, baby shower. Is it a baby shower? I can't remember. Bridal shower. That's what it is. I already got her having babies. Anyway, that at the bridal shower. So, um, yeah, that whole scene seemed a little awkward. Anyway, at the bottom line, Toya says, "Phaedra, walk your friend out." And before Quad leaves, she turns to Sweet Tea. She said, "Do you want me to leave or whatever?" And then Sweet Tea says, yeah, I think it's best that you leave." Yeah, that is weird. It was weird, yet it wasn't weird. Like, like I said, they shouldn't have any animosity towards each other, only because it wasn't like one was a side chick while the other one was the wife. You know what I mean? That grows into a toxic environment if you allow it to. If you allow it. But in this instance, neither one of them knew anything about the other. Only like Sweet Tea probably had an advantage of what they showed on the television because I'm sure she knew about Quad in order for Dr. G to slip into Dr. G's DMs because based on the interview with B. Scott, um, Dr. Heavenly, and Quad actually um, said, you know, "I don't have any animosity towards anyone," right? But Quad also said that it was Dr. It was her that it was actually called to the show, not Dr. G. He was just happened to be her husband. But now, since he's got a little taste of the entertainment bug, I guess he can go out on his own. He might have a little bit of clout just because he's been on there for her auntie many years. I don't know. I know what it sounded like a couple of years he wasn't on there. Maybe when they was going through divorce or maybe the 1 year. But I feel like um everyone should I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know why. What was I saying? Anyway, long story short, um I'm losing my mind. Long story short, yeah. Quad asked La- Letitia. or sweet tea, did she want her to leave? And she said, yes, I think it would be best for you to leave. So Phaedra walks her out. Toya is like upset still. And her thing was, oh my God, I can't take this. And then she leaves. Like, if you were going to leave anyway, why did you make Quad leave? You didn't even stay a good 60 seconds after Quad was escorted out because you got in your feelings talking about, oh, well, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying. My God. Um, yeah, well, Quad left. But my whole point is Toya left right after Quad. Like, why did you put the lady out if you weren't even going to stay? But I also think that it doesn't even matter because Dr. Heavenly was like on the interview with B. Scott, they really don't like to film or, tape or whatever they call it. They really don't like to do that. And her thing was if it was her at the bachelor party and they were told to leave, she said, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm out of there. Cause I feel like as long as they're on the show and they make an appearance, they getting coin. I don't think that Quad was really concerned about where she was, just as long as she was on the episode so she could get her coin. Right? That's what I think. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm not. Anyway, please, 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 please like, share, and subscribe, and or hit the notification button so you'll know the next time that I upload content. I really am getting a little bit more comfortable with this. I'll tell you that. But I need likes. I'm begging for likes. Please like this video and subscribe. You ain't got to watch me all the time. You don't even have to watch the whole, well, I guess I think you do have to watch the whole thing. But I'm trying to make them not as long. This is pretty long. I've been talking too much. I'm rambling now. So anyway, like, share, subscribe, and thank you for stopping by.